They have hidden the truth in plain sight. The Sphinx, an eternal guardian of wisdom, watches silently as centuries pass, its lips sealed, its gaze unyielding. But what if the answers it guards are not lost, only waiting for the right eyes to see? The ancients spoke in riddles, carved secrets into stone, and aligned monuments with the stars. Yet, for most, the Sphinx remains an enigma, an unspoken challenge to those who seek to understand. What was its true purpose? Why does it stand at the threshold of the Great Pyramid? And what did the ancient priests of Egypt know that we have forgotten? The key is not just in what is visible, but in what has been deliberately concealed. The Sphinx is more than a monument. It is a symbol, a test, a question whispered through time. Will you dare to see beyond illusion? Today, we unlock the hidden wisdom of the Sphinx and the initiatory path that once led seekers to the deepest truths of existence. A path that winds through the temples of Egypt, revealing the ultimate secret, one that cannot be spoken, only experienced. The Sphinx does not speak, yet it has whispered to the minds of seekers for millennia. A silent guardian at the threshold of the Great Pyramid, it is more than just stone. It is a challenge, a riddle, a key to a forgotten truth. Ancient initiates knew that the path to enlightenment was not one of mere intellect, but of experience. An ordeal that stripped away illusion and revealed what lies beyond the veil of the physical world. The Sphinx was not simply built to be admired, it was placed there to test those who dared to ask the right questions. Its face, eroded by time, carries the gaze of eternity. Some say it is the image of a forgotten pharaoh. Others believe it is far older, perhaps a remnant of an age lost to history. But its true meaning lies deeper. To decipher the Sphinx is to decipher oneself. It is the mirror of our dual nature, the beast and the divine. It asks, do you understand what you are? It is said that the ancient mystery schools used the Sphinx as a gateway, not to a physical passage, but to an inner transformation. Those who approached it were not seeking treasure or power. They sought truth. The path was not for the faint of heart. To stand before the Sphinx was to confront the unspoken laws of the universe, laws that did not bend to human ambition, but demanded surrender to a higher understanding. The initiates knew this well. They walked a path through the temples of Egypt, each one revealing a different stage of their awakening. They passed through Abydos, where they faced symbolic death, through Luxor, where they learned the sacred power of the word, and through Karnak, where they aligned themselves with the very forces of creation. Each step on this path was not a journey across land, but a journey into the soul. And at the center of it all stood the Sphinx, silent, eternal, waiting. The question remains, will you pass its test? The path of the initiate begins in Abydos, the sacred land of Osiris, the god of resurrection. But here, death is not the end, it is the beginning. This is not the death of the body, but the death of illusion, of false identity. The initiate who walks through the grand temple of Philae does not seek survival, but transformation. At the heart of Abydos lies the Osirian, a structure that predates history itself. Some say it is far older than the temples surrounding it. Within its flooded chambers, echoes of an ancient wisdom linger. Here, the initiate confronts the greatest fear of all, the loss of self. It is not a lesson taught in words, but in experience. In the great initiatory rites of Egypt, the seeker would lie in a stone sarcophagus, simulating death. Priests whispered invocations, guiding the soul beyond the physical world. This was the first step in the path of awakening. To truly live, one must first understand what it means to die. Emerging from this ritual, the initiate steps forward, not as who they were, but as who they are becoming. From Abydos, the path leads to Luxor, the temple of the word, the place where speech and silence shape reality. The towering columns of Luxor are more than stone. They are pillars of knowledge, standing between the heavens and the earth. This is where the initiate learns the power of the spoken word. In the teachings of the ancient priests, sound was not just vibration, it was creation itself. The gods did not build the world with their hands. They spoke it into existence. But before one can speak the truth, one must master silence. For 7 days, the initiate observes a sacred vow, no words, no communication, only stillness. In this silence, the mind rebels, thoughts rise and fall, Distractions demand attention. But in time, clarity emerges. And when the silence ends, the initiate stands before the great altar of Amun-Ra, where they speak their first words. I am the one who was, the one who is, the one who will be Abydos. With these words, they understand. Speech is not merely sound, but a force, and the world is shaped not just by what we say, but by what we think, what we believe, and what we dare to become. Only those who have walked through death and mastered the word may move forward. The next stage awaits. The path of the initiate does not lead forward, it leads inward. From Luxor, the journey takes them to Karnak, the largest temple complex in Egypt, a place where the gods do not just reside, they are assembled. Karnak is more than stone and shadow. It is a blueprint of the cosmos, where every corridor mirrors the grand architecture of existence. The initiate walks not through halls, but through the laws that govern creation. Here, the four sacred elements are not metaphors, but living forces. Fire burns in the great braziers, a symbol of willpower and transformation. The initiate must hold the flame, feeling its heat but not fearing it. Fire destroys, but it also purifies. Air swirls through the open courtyards, whispering secrets carried from ages past. The initiate learns that air is more than breath. It is the unseen force of thought, the movement of mind and spirit. Water flows in the temple's sacred lake, a mirror reflecting the heavens. The initiate kneels, gazing into its depths. Water is the realm of emotion, of intuition, of surrender. To master water is to master oneself. Earth stands unshaken, the temple's massive columns towering like trees in an eternal forest. Earth is stability, foundation, and form. Without it, nothing can be built. The lesson of Karnak is simple: balance. The one who aligns these forces within themselves becomes the architect of their own destiny. From Karnak, the initiate is led to Edfu, the temple of Horus, the all-seeing falcon. Edfu is the temple of vision, where the initiate learns to see beyond illusion. At the entrance stands a massive statue of Horus, his eyes unyielding, piercing through flesh and into the soul. For 3 nights, the initiate must sit before this statue in absolute stillness, contemplating its meaning. What does it mean to truly see? They are taught that sight is not with the eyes, but with the mind. The physical eye can be deceived, but the eye of Horus, the Ujat, sees the truth. This is why the symbol of the eye is not one of protection alone, but of awareness, awakening, and divine knowledge. To complete the trial, the initiate undergoes a final test. They are blindfolded and led into the temple's innermost chamber, where all is darkness. Here, they must navigate without sight, relying only on their other senses. For 1 night, they remain in this abyss, wrestling with their inner shadows. At dawn, the blindfold is removed, and the first light of the sun pierces the temple's entrance, the symbolic opening of the third eye. The lesson of Edfu is now clear. To see the truth of the world, one must first see the truth within, and so the initiate leaves with new eyes. The journey is not yet over. Ahead, the final transformation awaits. The initiate, now armed with vision beyond sight, continues the journey. But what is vision without understanding? From Edfu, they arrive at Ombo, the temple of duality. A temple unlike any other, Ombo is dedicated to 2 gods, not one. Sobek, the crocodile-headed god, ruler of primal instincts, survival, and the raw forces of nature. Horus, the falcon god, master of clarity, wisdom, and divine justice. Their statues stand side by side, opposites and yet equals. Light and shadow, flesh and spirit, desire and discipline. Here the initiate must face the truth that few dare to accept, that both gods live within them. For hours they sit in silent meditation before the temple's walls, contemplating the crocodile and the falcon. The teachings are clear. Sobek is not evil. He is the raw will to live, the hunger that drives us forward. To deny him is to deny life itself. Horus is not perfect. His clarity can turn to judgment, his wisdom to arrogance. To worship only him is to fall into illusion. The initiate understands. The goal is not to choose, but to integrate. That night by the Nile, a ritual is performed. The initiate stands at the river's edge, gazing into the dark waters. A voice whispers, "Step in." With steady breath, they wade into the current, sinking beneath the surface. A moment of surrender, a baptism into the unknown. When they emerge, they are not cleansed, but complete. The shadow is no longer an enemy, it is an ally. With the lesson of balance now etched into their being, the initiate moves forward, toward Philae, the temple of Isis. Philae is not a place of war, not a place of trial. It is a place of surrender. Here, the Great Mother waits, not as a goddess in stone, but as a presence that fills the air, the water, and the heart. The initiate is led to offer a final sacrifice, not of blood, not of wealth, but of attachment. A memory, a desire, a fear. Whatever still binds them to the self they once were, they must release it. Standing at the temple's sacred lake, they whisper their farewell to the past and let it slip into the water. The wind carries the ripples away, and with them the last echoes of resistance. Now they are ready. They step into the temple's innermost chamber, where a single flame burns in the darkness. A priestess speaks. "You are the child and the mother, the beginning and the end, separate yet one. Be as love is, eternal, boundless, and free." The initiate bows, not in submission, but in gratitude. They now understand. The path was never about power. It was always about love. And with that, the final transformation is set into motion. Ahead lies the coronation, the moment where the initiate steps into their true self. The journey is complete. But completion is not the end. The initiate returns to Abydos, the sacred cradle of Osiris, the threshold between life and eternity. But they do not return as they once were. Their steps, once hesitant, now carry the certainty of one who has faced death, rebirth, wisdom, a shadow, and love. This is not a return. It is the closing of the circle. In Abydos, they once faced the mystery of death. Now they step forward, crowned in rebirth. The night before the coronation, the initiate is led to the Osirian temple, where ancient stone and sacred silence cradle them one last time. A single flame burns before them, a mirror of the light they now carry within. They meditate. Their journey unfolds in their mind. Abydos, the tomb of the ego. Luxor, the power of the word. Karnak, the harmony of the elements. Edfu, the vision of Horus. Ombo, the reconciliation of opposites. Philae, the surrender to love. Each trial, each lesson no longer exists as a memory. It is who they are. Midnight, the final ritual begins. The initiate is taken to the Nile, the same river that carried the body of Osiris, the same waters that witnessed their symbolic death. Now they step in one last time, but this is not a descent. It is an ascent. They sink beneath the surface, one final immersion. The Nile receives them. The flame within them does not die. The air remains in their lungs. The earth calls them back. They rise, reborn. Dawn breaks. The first rays of the sun touch Abydos. The initiate walks toward the grand temple hall, where a circle of hierophants awaits them. At the center lies the golden crown, adorned with the Uraeus serpent, the symbol of awakened wisdom. A voice, deep and ancient, speaks, "You have walked the path of the gods. In dying, you were reborn. In separation, you found unity. Through your word, the world will be shaped. Through your shadow, light will be revealed. Through your light, love will manifest. Rise, child of Isis and Osiris, for you are now the bridge between heaven and earth." The crown is placed upon their head, but it is not a symbol of power. It is a reminder of service. For the true master is not the ruler of others, but the one who guides in silence, leads with wisdom, and serves without seeking reward. This is not an end, it is a beginning. The final revelation is clear. They are the creator and the creation, the beginning and the end. The Sphinx's secret is no longer a mystery, because the initiate has become the answer. Before departing Abydos, the initiate whispers one final prayer, not aloud but within their soul. "May I be the bridge where there is separation. May I be the light where there is darkness. May I be the lamel where their mind is fear. May the divine flow through me, so that all beings may remember. They too are temples. They too are eternity. With this, they step forward not as a seeker, but as a guide. The gates of Abydos close behind them. The path ahead is infinite. The journey is complete. The journey has just begun. Thanks for watching.